Thank you.
Hello everyone, hope you're well and enjoying the great speakers today. And I'm really excited to be here as country manager for WorldFirst, along with my team. And if you haven't visited our booth yet, just outside here, we're here to take your questions. But who's WorldFirst? We've been around for 20 years, started in the UK. In 2009, we set up in Australia. And in 2019, we became a subsidiary of Ant Group. So Ant is probably better known for Alipay. So we're part of the Ant Group, and we specialise in cross-border payments for online sellers, and whether it's B2B or B2C, whether you're selling direct to consumer or not. We've grown over the last few years. In particular, we now service over 1 million customers. And we're the #1 PSP in China for cross-border sellers out of China. So we definitely, with our roots connected through Ant Group, part of the Alibaba ecosystem. So we really understand online selling and cross-border payments in particular. Just to put some context before I get to the panel, today we're talking about sourcing from China specifically, and there's a few different ways that you can do this. Some of you may already be sourcing from China. You're either doing it, if you're doing it yourself, are you doing it in person, or you're doing it online, or potentially you're using an agent or a third party to help you source yourself. So we specifically work quite closely with some of the Alibaba platforms, and so our payments integration as well as our collections accounts. So if you haven't been to Canton Trade Fair, I think I urge you to go. This year in April, the 135th fair is on. It's certainly an experience. So if you are into doing it yourself and you want to meet people in the flesh, maybe do some factory tours and get over there and experience that yourself. But there are a lot of things to consider, and we're going to cover some of these, but not all of them that are on the screen here today. But certainly there's a lot of things that can impact your success when you're sourcing overseas, so particularly from China. So without further ado, let me introduce our panel. We've got first up to the stage, Rocky, the founder of Party Bestbuy, a Sydney local party supplier, and they sell party decorations for all occasions. Welcome, Rocky. We've got Percy, CEO and co-founder of Choco. It's Asia's largest revenue-based financing and growth platform. They offer flexible, fast and founder-friendly funding solutions to digital merchants. And last but definitely not least, we've got Oscar from We Assist Co. Welcome. We Assist Co. procure and source great products anywhere and everywhere in the world, working, coordinating and conversing across all industries. They stabilise and optimise your supply routes to save you money, time and the planet. So thank you very much in advance to our panel for being here today and for sharing their insights and experience. Testing, yes, it's working. That's a good start. Let me just turn the chair around here. Thanks again, guys. I think we just want to be careful there. Maybe you don't want you falling off the back there, Rocky. I just want to start, perhaps, give you all an opportunity to just talk a little bit about your business, why you started it, and who your customer base is. So, I might start from left to right.
Hi, my name is Rocky. We started our business almost 14 years ago in 2010. The idea of establishing our business is it's just because of fireworks. My wife and I go to see the fireworks in Sydney, and somebody give us the glow sticks. And then we said that we can start this business. It's so simple. And then we start from nothing to, at this stage, we have a warehouse in Urban around 1,300 square meter, around that big. Thank you.
Congratulations from a glow stick on
Yeah,
New Year's. Well done. Percy?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, WorldFirst. Hey, guys, I know it's after lunch, a little sleepy. I'll make it quick and interesting. My name is Percy. I'm from Choco. What we do is, as long as you're a seller, online or offline, whether you're retail or e-commerce, whether you're a D2C brand owner or a platform seller, we can leverage your data, let's say on Amazon, on Shopify, or on your retail POS to give you quick financing. We access your data, and within 15 minutes, we can fund you up to 1.5 million Aussie dollars financing. We want to reduce the friction of any seller or merchants in getting those financing from a bank or from other places. We fund you directly. The reason why we started Choco Up was because I was a D2C brand owner myself 15 years ago, and I was struggling. I couldn't get bank financing. I couldn't grow. I have FX problems. I saw, just now you're mentioning sourcing in person. I was one of those first guy that was doing in Shenzhen and Guangzhou in person, and there's no logistic, there's no FX, so it was very hard. So we started Choco Up, and we work with ecosystem partners together to make your business a little easier. That's what we do. Give you money and work with the partners. Yep.
Fantastic, thank you.
That's a hard act to follow. My business sprouted from Australian clients that I came across that were having trouble connecting with manufacturers in China. So learning about supply chain, I wanted to understand how we could streamline and save. Good, I'm killing it. Got to calm down. So what We Assist Co does is it saves clients time and money dealing with manufacturers. So they might be specialists in marketing or, what am I getting? Reverb. I'm going to sit over here. We're an agency that connects with manufacturers overseas, helping Australian businesses lower the impact on the environment, save time and money. We do that by having a localized team in China that are specialists in procurement. We look for opportunities in raw material sourcing and where technology can be used to lower the impact, but also help them scale. A big thing with Australian small to medium businesses is not understanding the entire life cycle of their product. They just buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. So we go in and research deep into where the raw materials come from and how and who the market leaders are in that product to give them the opportunity to diversify that supply chain and save that time and money. And then there's an impact that we believe that business doesn't need to be negative on the environment, and that you can still do business without having a negative impact. So we go in and funnily enough, a lot in China is that manufacturers a long time ago were using raw materials that were better for the environment. And so we just tap into those leaders that have products that people want, that people in the market want. Good start, finished a bit better. I'll go back to Jim, thanks.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you very much for everyone. Definitely inspiring. I get inspired anyway hearing stories of, the risks that you guys take, right, to start something up yourself, right? That's it's no small feat. So congratulations on taking that step, obviously a while ago now for all of you, and the success you've had so far. I might just start with you, Oscar, just because we're talking about sourcing strategies from China, of course. There's been a lot of talk in the last few years about supply chain disruption and people looking to diversify away from their sourcing from China. So I'm interested in your point of view on that, and how that's impacting, you think, local businesses.
Let's hope I don't get the reverb again. Yeah, so COVID was actually really good for my business. People couldn't do the face-to-face, and they needed somebody on the ground who understood manufacturing, understood the end-to-end life cycle of a product, and could communicate the key indicators or the key points of a product to make sure that the quality was delivered. What I found is a lot of people during COVID or during the political instability between Australia and China, what happened was they would pay us to do research into other markets, but when you're actually going down and looking at your product, you want to know where the raw material comes from and who are the technology leaders or the refining a certain product raw materials. And realistically, the truth of the matter is China is still just the biggest market. They're the biggest consumer of raw materials. It doesn't matter if your product comes from Poland. They're still probably importing more than if you went to Poland yourself, right? So, and then producing that product in China as well. So when it came down to it, we did a lot of research for clients wanting to move to other parts of Asia or outside into Europe. But when you add up the logistics fees, when you add up the fact that China is just a bigger consumer in itself for their domestic market, actually just manufacturing in China always worked out. And then there's the cultural difference that time is money. So manufacturers and leaders in China want to just pump the product out to the specifications you want as fast as possible. So that gets you selling as quick as possible as well. And that cultural difference, that when you start dealing with lots of different manufacturers around the world, it's different. Mic closer, can you not hear me? No, because I was getting the reverb. Shit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, not loving this. So what I found was once you do the research into lots of different markets, once you understand where the raw material comes from, you still find that China is the biggest market domestically. So then they've got the biggest buy power. So if you're producing a product, actually it does help to have that research, because what you find in the research is what everybody else is doing, what all your competition in the market is doing. Then you can understand, okay, how do I beat them? What is their product? Who's making their product? Where does it come from? So the question originally was, where do you see the trends? A big one that I see is ESG, and that really helped my business as well, is how do we have a positive impact on, and you see here, everything is about health. So it's health for us, it's health for the planet, and then you still obviously want to make money, right? So the trend is moving and becoming a more common thing, is how do I have a positive impact or I've lost the word, but values-based businesses. And so this is the thing that I see moving forward, is ESG, so environment, social and governance, and how products can not negatively impact, whether it's in manufacturing or in the end life cycle. I hope I answered that.
That's a great perspective, actually. And it's interesting you say the raw material and also the quality and the sustainability aspect of sourcing is not something traditionally in years gone by that people really associate with China, to be fair. But that's definitely something
they're market
that's
leaders
changed.
now. They're absolutely market leaders in producing a product. The thing is that people's misconception is it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's not. You can get a cheap product, sure, but you have to pay for quality. It's just the way it is. You must pay. And you've got to have that partnership with your manufacturer, not to just extract cost. You pay them and they do a really good job, and then you have a market-leading product, and then you're a different person, and you've got austerity in your business. And these are the reasons why I always recommend to go to China.
Thank you. Thanks, Oscar. And with that kind of insight and that kind of support, and particularly around the research, that's one reason why someone would want to use an agent or a third party as opposed to doing it themselves, because that insight and that intelligence that you provide to your clients is obviously quite valuable to them anyway.
I hope so.
Yeah, thank you. Moving over to Rocky. Rocky, you source your own supplies through Alibaba-owned platform 1688.com, and then you sell online via eBay or your own store, Party Bestbuy. Why did you choose to use 1688.com, and how do you manage the logistics side of things in terms of getting that product from 1688 to Australia?
Yeah, different from Oscar, our product is relatively cheaper. The reason why we use 1688 is because it is the largest platform in China, B2B. Something like you wanted to get some idea about something, you Google it. Like Alibaba is a big company, huge company in China. Like they offer this B2B platform that serves us. You can find a lot of supplier selling different kind of products. And also, if you haven't been to China, don't know that China have a regulation for the money. So WorldFirst gives a way to pay for the item on 1688. If you otherwise, it could be quite difficult. And in terms of the logistics, we use the cargo shipping. We have a 40-feet container twice a month. And we have a warehouse in China. Because the item is cheaper, so we definitely need to check the quality before sending it to Australia. And we also need to repack, labeling them, so when they arrive in Australia, it is ready to send. Thank you.
Well, it's quite an investment you've made in China on the ground as well, right? To make sure the quality meets your standards before coming here. So, yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about 1688.com a little bit later, because it's not a brand that's very well known here in Australia, but definitely one that's growing its presence anyway. When you first started outsourcing or buying from 1688, what were some of the factors that you considered before you decided, okay, I'm going to use that platform as opposed to another way?
I think the most important factors is the price, to be honest. Because the online market is very competitive. If you wanted to be searched and have a high click per, so you need to become more competitive. So, and quality is also very important. So that's why we have quality control in China. If you get something and didn't check the quality and then send to Australia, it could be a big problem.
Yeah, and I know on 1688.com there are sort of little badges and icons, and they try to distinguish the quality sellers versus the ones that have been actually checked. But nothing beats doing it yourself, that's for sure. Thank you. Percy, over to you. They say cash flow is king. What are some of the common cash flow challenges business face? They can face when they're managing international supply chains specifically.
Okay, so the first thing is when you're, purchasing inventory, when you're going to someone for the first time, it's unlikely that you get payment terms of 30, 60, 90 days, cash up front. And because as a business owner, you only have so much cash. You're going to use part of it, 20% for ad spend, 20, 30% for inventory, 20, 30% on labor. What platform, website, the fees, blah, blah, blah. So it can be, and if you make one mistake, it's going to set you back a few steps. And as a business owner, time and your ROI is the most important. So one of the biggest mistake that I made, or I see our clients, we have done about over 1,000 direct-to-consumer brands and as our client and also platform seller, is that the misuse of fund or ordering a wrong colorway for one SKU become dead stock, and then it's a ripple effect. Then it can affect your payroll, affect your, just everything just start going down. So the careful management of your cash flow is definitely important, and hence Choco Up, what we do is we try to look at your business holistically across all platform. Omni-channel, online, offline as well, right? To give you access to a backup facility, not say backup, but growth facility or backup facility to help your business to get through tough times and also to help you to grow. I think that's one of the biggest pain point. And one more point on that is, as a business, we always look at top line revenue. What's your month-of-month growth? What's your year-on-year growth? Am I making that curve, right? However, a lot of people don't think too much about, including myself, about the bottom line, especially the FX conversion rate. Banks could charge you 3, 4, 5% without you knowing that if I'm exchanging AUD into RMB and transferring it to somewhere else. Or when you're getting USD or euros from your buyers, converting it back to AUD, and then converting it back to RMB to China or your supplier in Singapore or Malaysia or Thailand, right? This whole conversion will take time, and it could cost you 4 or 5% at least. Hence, finding a right partner to do that is very important. And I think WorldFirst fixed that for a lot of our clients as well. So this, I mean, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% doesn't seem a lot, but it adds up, and it comes back to bite you when you're looking at your P&L at the end. Yep. Yep.
Thanks, Percy. I wasn't expecting a plug there, but thank you. Just whilst we're on the topic as well, though, I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't have heard of revenue-based lending as a thing, right? It's a pretty crowded marketplace, and there's a lot of lenders out there offering different types of lending products, right? This is in itself is a pretty unique sort of category of lending. Maybe talk to us a little bit why this is the right type of lending, particularly for an online seller.
Thank you. So for us, we try to make financing easier to, reduce all the friction that you need to get money. So like I mentioned before, if you are selling on Amazon or Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, Shopline, Shoplaza, any platform, we tap into your database. This is, it takes like 5 minutes to sign up on our platform. We get your data within 15 minutes. We can fund you up to 1.5 million Aussie dollar, leveraging our data, because we use our own algo to forecast how much revenue you're going to make in the next 3, 6, or 12 months. This is the first part. The second part is the lenders, normally when you borrow money from someone for business or from an institution, they don't care if your business grow or fail. They just want you to repay them. But our revenue model, it's based on your revenue, meaning we plug into your payment gateway or your payout account. So every shirt that you sell, every product that you sell, we take a small percentage of that sales towards the repayment. And this is done automatically so that you don't have to physically go into your bank account, transfer money out, and repay us. This reduces friction of both parties. And by the time you realize you already paid out like 80, 90% of this facility, and then you can use it again for your ad spend for Double 11, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, Easter, and such campaigns. So we're trying to build an ecosystem on top of that. So we work with different partners to analyze your data and to help you to see, hey, where can we help you save money? How to drive sales as well. So we have a merchant success and growth team that help you to do that. Value added, we don't charge you any money, because if your business grow, your top line grow, we get our money back faster. So it's a win-win situation.
Thank you. I've got one last question for the panel here, and I think we're running a little bit behind. I think they're giving me the look a little bit. So if we can keep it brief. If there was one tip that you could give the audience around managing their supply chains more efficiently, what would that be? Start with you.
In my point of view, to keep a good supply chain, you must have two things. The first one I've mentioned is the quality control. Because our product is relatively cheaper, so quality you need to check before sending to Australia. Another one is you need to plan things in advance. Like we selling party stuff. So the biggest one is for the Christmas. So you have to plan in June, July, and then you get the products around September. But if you get it after December, then doesn't mean anything. The last thing I think could be a tip could be not only the supply chain, but we have to make friends. Like we meet new people and get new idea. That can significantly improve your business. Not only the supply chain, but also the well-round of your business. And that's quite important.
Thank you. Thanks, Rocky. Percy?
All right. Mine's very simple. Don't be afraid to spend. Okay, it's not about the absolute amount. I'm spending $10,000 for this digital agency, or I'm spending $20,000 on Oscar. It's about the ROI of how much you spend. Same for hiring. I'd rather hire a great team A player than 3 team B player, because the output is a lot more than what you don't spend on. So it's all, look at your business on the ROI front. Like if I spend $20,000 on that, if I can generate enough, yeah, sure, why not? But a lot of people don't think that way. They feel like, hey, this is expensive. That's why I don't want to spend on it. But you should look at a business from a more, hey, not the absolute amount, but more on the return. It could be intangible as well. Yeah, and factor in that as well.
Especially when you're trying to build a brand from scratch, right? That intangible is important.
Yeah.
Thank you. Finally, Oscar.
Hello. That wasn't even working before. Jesus. Okay, so product-based supply chain and my tips and tricks. QC is definitely a non-negotiable. If you're not QCing your product in China or anywhere, the risk is too high. The other one that not a lot of people know about is a red stamp. I make sure that every time I purchase something from China, there is a red stamp from the manufacturer on the, ideally on the contract and every page of the contract, but also then the invoice. That keeps the accountability there, that they will follow whatever is in the contract or that invoice. Not many people know that. That'd be my number one trick and tip. The other thing I would mention is, I'll give it a plug, don't use your bank. Yeah, we all are here because we use WorldFirst, and it really does save me a lot of money. And staying in the ecosystem of 1688 to control that quality and have those assurances that 1688 will support my clients, especially when they do have a stamp. So those three things, but yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Oscar. The red stamp. No, I hadn't heard that before. So that's a great takeaway. Thank you. Just 1688.com was something that obviously we've spoken about here. Now Oscar uses it, and so does Rocky. And but again, a brand that probably not very well known. So it is a subsidiary of Alibaba Group. And yeah, you can scan that code, the QR code, if you want to get access to a guide that tells you a lot more detail about it. One thing I'll say is that at the moment it is only available in Chinese, so you'd have to use Google Translate, which does work, surprisingly, if you want to translate the site. But yeah, certainly one way for B2B sourcing, that's a platform that has integration actually with WorldFirst, so you can pay directly from your World account as you buy online on the platform. And then just finally, if you haven't been to our booth yet, please come along if you want to explore some savings around how you can, using us, save money on your supply chains. We've got a great visualization tool there that you can use. If you're into your football, we are one of the official payment provider or partner of Euro. So we're giving away tickets to the UEFA final and semi-finals. So yeah, visit our booth, 82 to 85, just out there for more. So look, I want to say a very big thank you to the panel. Great conversation, great insights. Thank you for making the time, and hopefully you've all got something that you can take away and use today in your business as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.